once I start putting the moves down on Mike Tyson, you know what? This fight might not be hard as y'all think it's going to be.
One of the toughest punchers boxing has ever seen is Mike Tyson. One of Mike Tyson's punches felt like being hit by a truck. And to be honest, most of his opponents knew what they were getting into when they tried to intimidate and degrade him in an effort to make him perform worse. Little did they know, however, that their actions would come back to haunt them once I began teaching Tyson the moves.
The body goes to throw right hand, just split with a big right hand. He won't get up.
So this fight might not be as difficult as everyone thinks. It will take place in 1988. A prospect by the name of Tony TNT Tubbs was attempting to acquire a piece of iron at this time. Mike Tyson was the man you had to defeat in order to become undisputed.
Tyson's body. And you can begin to see this.
The two fighters fought closely in the first round, with Tubbs being able to land several jabs and avoid Tyson's powerful punches. Mike at this point decided it would be a good idea to try and trash-talk Tyson during the build-up to the fight, a decision he would undoubtedly regret.
That he would for sure regret.
He says they're all set, and there's the bell for round one.
First round of the second round again, Tubbs battled Tyson well, landing numerous blows in the first 2 minutes of the rounds.
My mission is to go and destroy and not to let anything get involved. If you get punched, you get hurt. I refuse to be hurt, knocked down, and knocked out. I can't lose. I refuse to lose.
Tubbs took another powerful left hook to the head, stumbled back a few steps, and fell to the canvas permanently.
Tubbs is hurt. Tubbs is hurt badly. It was a left hook.
Donnie Long, an up-and-coming professional boxer who had recently served time for murder, was seen as Mike's first significant challenge.
Knockout, years of age. Long is 27. Oh, wow.
Contemplate is the operative word here. First round begins with Mike being the aggressor after Tyson was caught off guard. Donnie intended truth.
Let's let everyone know this guy's vulnerable. Makes lots of mistakes, and I've also examined the things Mr. Tyson does, his flaws, and I know what I'm going to do for him when he makes those mistakes.
7 seconds of the first round. Robert Coley last October 25th. Tyson bouncing around.
Lorenzo attempts to employ his carefully thought-out game plan against the much more experienced Tyson, who showed no emotion while hammering Robert Coley for 37 seconds of the opening round on October 25th. The fight between Mike Tyson and Frank Bruno was one of the best confrontations of the late 1980s and early 1990s. Judging by the knockout power of both fighters, this fight could almost be called the most explosive fight in history. However, Tyson hit so hard that it didn't matter devastating punching in round 2. Tyson connected with his signature combination, and Lorenzo was met with a canvas again. Tyson has the ability to knock people out, so let's concentrate on Bruno before taking on iron. Mike. If we consider brute physical strength, Mike is stronger than Frank in the first fight, which he lost by TKO in the 5th round. Frank had a record of at least 32, 2 at the time, with just 1 victory coming by decision. In that bygone era, Bruno was likely regarded as the toughest knockout fighter of all. The boxers parted ways, but destiny brought them back together in 1996. Mike Tyson was clearly in much better shape than Frank Bruno after the non-fighting years, being less of a target that's a first when he spoke to Steve. And any time for "Oh, here comes Tyson." When Iron Mike was in the best shape after prison and Bruno had the WBC belt, nobody or anything but Mike Tyson was defeated about keeping Tyson under control of the belt. Frank grew very elderly, and his pace drastically decreased. And in a fight against such a killer, it was bound to be fatal when Tyson used a combo with 20 seconds left in the first round.
Bill's way. Tyson's people wanted to bob and roll, be less of a target. That's the first when he talked to Steve.
And that's saying something considering he weighed 247 pounds. In the third round, he defeated the champion by cutting his head down with hooks, as Frodo had predicted.
I guarantee you. Oh, a left hook by Mike Tyson, flush on the face of Frank Bruno. Another left, and a combination by... And that's saying something for a 247-pounder.
He also claimed he wasn't aiming for the titanium station after winning the WBC belt. Started yelling that this was a fixed scuffle, although it was probably just a bizarre brawl. As typical for Tyson, the entire bout lasted 109 seconds. In this battle, Mike Tyson was the underdog against Jesse Ferguson. who was thought to pose a threat to the Rib King. In the 5th round, Mike forced Jesse into a corner and unleashed an uppercut that smashed through Jesse's skull. If the jab pot store and grabbed, but it's 10 rounds and eventually I'ma catch them as the first opponent for Tyson's triumphal comeback, they haven't intended to defeat me. Hurricane, a 26-year-old Peter McNeely, was selected despite having a stellar resume. Peter wasn't a true top contender. Instead, he was more of a club fighter, but McNeely wasn't intimidated by the task and seized the opportunity presented by fate. I'm Hurricane.
I'm Hurricane Peter McNeely from Medfield, Mass. On Saturday night, watch me kick Tyson's ass.
When it came time for one of the most famous stare-downs in history, Peter McNeely from Medfield, Massachusetts, watched me kick Tyson's ass on Saturday night. Although it was obvious how nervous he was and who wouldn't be nervous in his position, Iron Mike was calm as a boa constrictor and determined as a tiger. McNeely tried unsuccessfully to look confident, and Tyson only followed him, with his eyes rushing to Tyson from the very first second, and McNeely tried to shack Mike, but such jokes with Tyson don't work. McNeely on the campus in the middle of the round. Tyson carried out a successful attack and knocked down McNeely with a right uppercut. People from McNeely's corner entered the ring with the referee asking them to leave, but they refused, after which Lane decided to disqualify McNeely with him, shouting into the camera that he'd return and show everyone what he was really capable of. It's certainly not a good idea to challenge Mike Tyson and disrespect him, as what happens to you isn't very pleasant. Until next time, this is Primo Boxing, Mike Tyson's greatest hits.